Adidas Nations is a culmination of all the best players in the world at their respective age, 18 and under. We bring in all the best players from Africa and Asia, Latin America, Europe, Australia, and the United States. The principle of Adidas Nations is simple. It's about learning to become a pro. We treat it just like an NBA camp. We run it very structured, very sound fundamentals, and the whole idea is, hey, we know you're good. Let's show others that you're that good. And quite honestly, it's an evaluation to see where they really stack up against the best players in the world. Some of them look at the challenge and look at it as an opportunity. I mean, every challenge is filled with opportunity.
Get the pass! Let's go. Africa 3. 1, 2, 3. Africa 3. 1, 2, 3.
This type of camp is great for the African players because you get to see all the best talent from around the world, and you get a chance to measure yourself and give you a chance to see and learn and to work hard and make yourself better.
My dream as a basketball player is to play in the NBA, like any basketball player.
Team Africa in the building.
Since its beginnings in 2007, the Adidas Nations camp has become an essential fixture on the basketball circuit. A must for some of the best young basketball players in the world who hope to one day turn professional. For 4 days, more than 100 players shut themselves away in this gym north of Los Angeles. On the programme, a skills development and a tournament to which 9 teams are invited. Among these teams, this year there is an African team, a symbol of the emergence of African basketball over the last 2 decades. A selection led by Abdoulaye Haruna, who grew up in Niger where he discovered basketball. It's the 4th year in a row Harun is participating in the camp, and each edition is an opportunity to help him get a little closer to his dream.
My dream as a basketball player is to play in the NBA like any basketball player. It's to play for real in the NBA, here in the US. And not just play for money, but also to win NBA titles like a lot of NBA players. The Kobes, the Michael Jordans, and many other players, because it's a sport that I really love.
Right from the first morning, the rhythm is set with an hour's work on dribbling skills.
You dribble, tuck, tuck.
Like that? Tack, tack?
No, the other hand doesn't change.
A morning that ends with a friendly against one of the 4 African teams present. And for the African team, no complexes.
They're playing. When we're going to start the tournament, here it's a friendly game, but we're really going to start the tournament.
Just like this shot from Haruna, the African team proves it hasn't just come to make up the numbers. First game and first victory.
We won for 2 reasons. They had more turnovers than us.
Ils ont fait plus de balles perdues que nous.
Right? And you guys played harder.
Et vous avez joué plus dur.
You guys played harder.
To do well in this tournament, the African team can rely on the science of its German coach, Detlef Schrempf. Schrempf knows the NBA well because he played and shone in it for 17 seasons. He was one of the first foreigners to do well there in the 90s.
He even played in a final with Michael Jordan. So really, to play in the NBA and the NBA Finals, I know it's not easy. So he really must be an NBA legend.
I'm already here. Now when the pass comes, I'm already back, right? So I want to start in and ready to go out.
He explains well because even when people don't understand, he stopped the game. He explained better so that the people really understood. I find him very good. He's a nice coach. He tries to give you the time you need. When you try, he leaves you in. And frankly, if you don't play well, he takes you out because it's a camp and everyone must play. It's true. There are plenty of other players. He must keep changing the players to give playing time to everyone.
In the afternoon, for its first group game, the African team again defies the American. And in the image of the failed attempt by Haruna, the Africans are sloppy. And the Americans profit from it.
Well, we have very limited time. You know, we don't have much practice time. It's mostly about the games. They get, some stiff competition. They have some big kids they played against today that they might not be used to. So it's just, it's more a competition camp than really a teaching camp. We're trying to teach them a little bit about what to expect and how to approach it.
2 games in 1 day, 5 hours of basketball in total. All that is hard on the body. A little ice to soothe the joints, and players return as soon as possible to their hotel to rest. Haruna takes the opportunity to watch videos of his idol, the star of the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant. It's him that I'm watching here. I don't know, it's him I'm watching. Well, in fact, I began to like Kobe. It was really in 2008, their first finals with the Celtics. And when he played the Olympic Games with the US team. It's then when I began to like him. I began to watch his moves and everything. I began to copy him.
If Kobe Bryant is an example, the same is true of the 2 best Africans in basketball history. Dikembe Mutombo from Congo, 4 times best defender in the NBA, and the Nigerian Hakeem Olajuwon, NBA champion in 1994 and 95.
They also are a reference. They are also a pride of Africa. Thanks to them, we can say that at least the Africans are also in the NBA, so it's also a point of pride. And therefore, it's also a good reference for me, too, to copy them and play in the NBA one day. Like that people will say, the African, and that's all.
Saturday morning, arrival at the gym for the 2nd day of competition. Tiredness must be forgotten because Haruna and his teammates are again going to play 2 games in 1 day. The first opponent is again American. But this time Haruna has more success than the day before. Against the African attacks, little by little the Americans impose their physical strength. One area where Haruna and his teammates struggle to compete. And after the physical side, the Americans end up imposing their game strategy. Finally, the African team is beaten for the 2nd time in 2 group games.
Compared with the 2 games yesterday morning and last night, there I was almost a little stronger in attack than the 2 games yesterday, and also a little better defensively. I was there for the rebound. I had 2 or 3 interceptions. I made some assists.
It's not too hard to follow on like that? The pace?
Well, it's been a bit hard, but hey, I've done this camp every year since 4 years, and I'm already a bit used to that.
This Adidas Nations camp also receives a lot of attention. There are journalists, recruiters from American universities in search of their next golden nugget, and also players' agents, such as Frenchman Olivier Mazet, who regularly works with African players.
The American agents and most scouts are aware that there is huge potential in Africa. Now they are also aware at the same time of the possible lack of structure there.
There is a huge potential, but there is still a lot of work to do. And I think for these players, the African team is unique experience.
It really helps them to confront what is best and to recognize the work that they have to do if one day they want to reach the top at university level or NBA level later on.
Saturday afternoon, it's the last group game. After 2 defeats in 2 games, the African team still has a slim chance to qualify for the semi-finals. And for that, they must beat Australia by a big points difference. But the Australians aren't giving up without a fight.
We're giving up layups, guys. Come on. Have some pride. Have some pride. Let's go.
The African team is held for most of the game, but it will eventually take over in the second half thanks to the determination of Haruna. Victory is finally theirs, but the gap of 11 points is insufficient to qualify for the semi-finals. So the African team's adventure stops there.
That's it. We came out second half, played a lot harder. Played together, made some good passes. Right? We made some shots. Made some shots. Made a 3. There we go. We're in it. We're in it. Oh, you made one? Oh. Good job, guys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Africa.
For Haruna, this camp was another step on the road that one day could lead him to the NBA. The next step is that he'll join an American high school in the fall to continue learning and continue to nurture his dream of one day becoming the first Nigerian to tread the floors of the NBA.
There's a lot of Africans who have been there, so why not you too? If you work hard like them, you too can go. Or more than them. You can also go on to the NBA.
Are you ready to work?
I'm ready. To even have my head cut off for it.